and welcome to the Wake.Show. How you doing? Sorry about that. How you doing? Welcome to the Wake.Show, and happy Wednesday. I'm sorry, Thursday. It's Thursday. Feels like Wednesday to me. All right, my guest today will be Chris McCarty. He'll be stopping by, and for those of you that missed the anniversary present that I part of my anniversary present for my wife on a Sunday, it was a song that I had written the lyrics to, and Chris came in and helped me arrange it, helped me make it make sense, and put the music to it, and then and like in my mind, in my head, when he said he wanted to help me out with this thing, I thought that I thought he was going to sing it, like I was going to record him singing and everything. He's like, no, you're going to sing this thing. So we'll revisit that today. Let's see make sure we're all up and running here. Good. How about this? Good morning. All right, so we are live on Facebook Live, YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, and Mixler. And I got to get we got our iHeart stuff ready to go, and I gotta get that connected. That's my fault. We'll get to stuff you should know today. Let me show you what that's all about. All right, Starman's final photo we'll get to. That's been very fascinating to watch over the last couple of days. And I thought that like we were going to have Starman's video footage like forever until, he fizzled out or something like that. But I guess that was a very limited time. So Starman's going away. But also the top 10 flu cities. Well, why would you put that in there? Tampa's in there. Tampa's one of them. Don't wax my kid. A story about a daycare, another part of the country, and the mom gets her kid home, and she's like, "What the?" And you could see the little red mark there, and I guess she, had a bushy eyebrow, and somebody there at the daycare just thought that this was appropriate. As a child, like, I'm not like 10. I'm talking like, I don't know, 3 or something like that, 4 years old. So we'll come back to that story here in just a little bit. Trump's approval rating is at 48%. We'll come back to that story as well. Also, the Chinese hip hop is endangered. So I didn't even know. And then the weirdest story of the day was this Richard Pryor, Marlon Brando story about them hooking up back in the 70s. So I got that one from page 6. So take that for whatever it's worth. And we'll come back to it here in just a little bit. So, well, how's everybody doing right now? How's everybody doing on Thursday morning here? If I sound a little slower, I always sound like this. Last night was my my late night, my karaoke night, and I was able to pull out a new song. And as you guys know, I'm not the greatest singer in the world, but I can fake my way through some things. And so I don't know if I told you, I can't remember if I told you this or not, but last week I really wanted to do Every Rose Has Its Thorn, because a couple weeks ago when it was Groovy Game Night at my good friend Ed Groovy's house, who is the owner of Events Done Right, the guy that I do all, the karaoke through, the trivia through, weddings through, and stuff like that. He threw this big party at his house, and it was a game night. And so one of the tasks, one of the games was this karaoke game at the very end, and I got roped into doing that. And but it just so happened to be Poison Every Rose Has Its Thorn, which I remember from my childhood. And the person that I was battling had no idea what the song was, so I won hands down. But I felt really good afterwards, even though you're singing along with the actual lyrics themselves, the words themselves. So I wanted to try it out at karaoke. And so last week I'm getting all worked up, and then we have a full list. It's a full list, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to do it. So it gets towards the end of the night, and the list thins out. Finally, I get through everything. So I'm like, all right. And so I pull up the song for myself. I'm like, I shouldn't. I'm the host. I'm supposed to be facilitating a good time for everybody else, not waiting for my time to see if I can sing Poison's Every Rose Has Its Thorn, right? So I set it up, and then one of the people there is hammered. Comes up and goes, oh, I want to do one last song with my friend so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, what do you guys want to do? No problem. And she looks down on my computer, and she sees that I had pulled up already Poison, and she goes, oh, that's the one I want to do. That's perfect. Hold on. Hey, Ryan, come up here. Let's sing the song. So I'm like, that's cool. That's cool. Again, it's not supposed to be about me. I'm the KJ. I'm just a KJ. And and she goes, oh, but you wanted to do that song for you. And I was like, no, this tonight's about you. Don't you worry. So like, okay, it's all right. There's a lesson to be learned here. I'll breathe on it later. And so she gets up there with her friend, and it's just butcher it. Just it was horrible. It was a horrible, horrible drunken rendition, right? And I'm just sitting there in pain the whole time going, God bless it. I just wanted to sing one song, and I wanted to try to do this song. And why universe did you not only not let me do this song tonight, but you mocked me. So I went home without doing the song last week, but this week the universe did not conspire against me, and I was able to get up there and I do it, and it was very mediocre. It was nothing special. So, all right. So, like I was saying, Chris McCarty will be joining me coming up here in just a little bit. He has a show tonight, and I think it's sold out. I don't know if it's at the Hard Rock or not. But let's come back to some of the stories that I pulled off for today. And we'll start with Starman's final photo. What the? Am I pushing buttons? Sorry about that. And boom. All right. So I don't know if you guys, how much you've been watching this. Oh, that is so awesome. Let's go ahead and get that on. This is I got this through abcactionnews.com. And one thing I saw him talking yesterday, and I didn't even know this. He goes, look at the dashboard. And I think he said it's a Roadster with a Starman in it. So there's the Starman Roadster right there, and then there's the Starman Roadster. So let's zoom in here. So right there, I'm assuming right above the Don't Panic is that as far as it's going to go? Anyway. Oh, hey, what'd I do? Never mind. All right, so here's the last photo that he tweeted out of Starman, which I thought was just the coolest thing. One of the coolest things. Also hearing him talk about it. He said he did it for fun. You know, he said, you got to have fun with life. It was silly. Not the rocket part of this thing. You know, we need to, I guess, test our technology and whatever. But the Roadster thing and shooting this guy out into space, he said it was for fun. It was to be silly, and you need to make sure. And it's hard to reconcile that because he's right. He's right on one hand, but on the other hand, you're like, all right, buddy, but you being silly, how much was that? And I know you're a philanthropist and you give a lot of money away. But that little silly thing cost how many millions of dollars and how many meals, how many mouths that could have fed. But I like I said, I'm not dogging it. It's just it's always kind of, I don't know. For me anyway, it's always difficult to reconcile those kind of things. And I thought too that we were going to have this guy's feet. I thought little Starman was going to be around for a long time. But I guess not. I guess this is the last photo. Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX and Tesla, posted a final photo of the Tesla Roadster he launched into space on SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket on Instagram on Wednesday as it heads for Mars orbit, I guess, for a little bit, and then the asteroid belt from there. Musk wrote, last pic of Starman and Roadster en route to Mars orbit, and then the asteroid belt. Awesome. All right. Let's go ahead and bring in Chris. How you doing, buddy? Come on in and have a seat. Have a seat. Let's see here. Boop, boop, doodle-doodle. And then we'll get back to the stuff you should know here in a second. I just want to say hi to Chris real quickly. Get him situated. Let's see. Go ahead and get into that corner. I bet, squeeze. Yeah, get into your corner right there. You go. Perfect. Look at that.
What up, man?
Looking good. Wait, hold on. Let's start. We'll start right here. Oh, look at that. There we go. How you doing, Chris?
I'm well. How are you, brother?
I'm swell. Thanks for asking. All right, welcome, man.
Hey, great shirt. Do you guys see what the shirt he's
Oh,
wearing?
wait, you know, I didn't even show him the shirt
my
yet
guy.
today. Let's see here.
This is why I love him.
All right,
That's my shirt, everybody.
That's a Chris McCarty special right there.
Yeah, you see that? Yeah, man, we got him in gray as well. You're going to order them online on our Facebook, Chris McCarty.
As long as you have them in an XL, that's all I need. That's all I care about.
Yeah. How are you, man?
Good. So you said you got a sold-out show tonight. What's going on?
Yes, playing at the House of Blues with Chase Rice.
Get out of here.
Dude, that's my guy. I like Chase. He's
I don't know who that is, but I mean the playing at the House of Blues part.
So you ever heard that song, Cruise?
Yeah. No, you're good.
You know Cruise. Baby, you song, you made
Yeah.
He co-wrote that.
With a Florida Georgia line. See, I know my country.
See, but now you know Chase. And so he's actually the first of three when he was playing with Kenny Chesney. They were doing stadiums and whatnot. So he's touring and finally went overseas. So he's branched over there too. So Chase is doing his thing.
Oh, right on, man.
Yeah, man.
Do you know this guy?
Yeah. Chase and I, we're cool. It's one of
Are you as cool as
you and I? No.
No. Is it you and John Mayer?
Oh yeah, man, we're way cooler. No, it's funny how the whole thing worked out. You know me. You know I'm a good dude. Right?
I mean, you're all right.
You're not as nice as you think you are, right? Yeah. No, but I had a show where I got kicked out of playing. I know. See, exactly. That's the reaction to see what.
What?
The story is, it's 4th of July. I just moved away from Gainesville, moved into Largo.
Okay.
And so, and I'd been there for like maybe a week. So, I'm playing at this place and doing well. But on the 4th of July, there's a guy I'd never seen before. He was a manager. And so I know that my guys are coming in from Gainesville. One's coming from Miami to do like this trio show. And I've never played as a trio there, but always done a single show. Supposed to start at 7, it's 6:45, and I'm playing. I got the crowd going because I know my dudes are going to be late. So, you always try to offset things,
Right.
And so the manager dude came out and was like, if your guys aren't like in front of people, like I'm in the middle of, your guys aren't here at 7 o'clock, you're not playing, like loud.
Wait a second. I remember this.
Right.
This was
You remember
local.
the story.
This
Hey,
was
I'm not
local.
saying the name of the
Okay,
place,
I
but
won't.
yeah, but
I won't
that's-
either.
Right. So
I
that
remember
happened,
that,
and
yeah.
I'm sitting here like, no, it's me. So I got to be like, people are crazy, And
Right.
So I'm calling my guys, and they're not going to be there by 7. So I'm like, okay, here we go.
Right.
So I go inside and I see the guy. I'm like, hey man, come here, can we talk real quick? And he goes, no, you know what? Get your shit and get out of here. You will never play here again. And it was just wild. Like I'd never, at that point I was like, I wonder if this dude doesn't like black people. I don't know what happened.
Oh, of course. Now it's got to turn into it.
Well,
it's got
let
to
me
turn
ask
into
you
a
a
race
question.
thing.
Who just starts yelling at
I
someone like
understand.
that? And you've never, ever, there's like a hate behind there.
I
Like to say
understand.
that.
I understand.
So, and then I'm just saying, like, look, your brain, I'm just brain wondering.
You're trying to figure out why.
Could it be that? Right. Could it be that? So, I say to him, I say, what's your name? He's like, I almost said his name. You want my business card? And I go, no, dude, I'm going to pray for you because you got something going on. And I'm not the dude who goes around and telling that to people, but it was like, yeah, I need to pray for you because it's crazy.
Right.
So when the guys show up, I tell them, hey, listen, we're not playing. And so now I got to go and tell all these people outside, hey, man, we're not playing. These people got so angry that they started chanting, we want Chris, which was the greatest thing that could have happened, right? So now the managers are like, tight, oh no. People going in there cursing them out. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And so now they're like asking me, can you please leave? That kind of thing. And so I told my guys, I say, yo, keep your heads up. We're going to play somewhere. I'm like, look, man, this is God's land. Like, I don't care what any of you guys say. This doesn't make sense, but I know that if we just stay obedient and be cool and understand, like, hey, this is happening, like, and don't jump into the fray, don't do it. Higher, like, hold your head high and everything will come together.
Okay.
So what happens is I text the dude who gave me the gig, say, hey, man, I guess I'm not allowed to play her anymore. He's like, what? I told him the story via text. He goes to the owner's son and tells him what's going on. That dude wants to tell these people that I showed up at 8 o'clock. So now, oops. So then they go get the tapes, and then they're showing me at 6:45 jamming, dude gets reamed out, whatever. So, and so what happens is I get a text saying, hey, this other band they said they can't play now. I said, I told you, it's going to work out. Everything's going to work out. Trust your boys. So we go to this other place. And there are 4 people there, and one of the people happens to be Chase Rice's tour manager.
Okay.
So me and John and I hang out until like 4 in the morning. You know, which is also an issue with, at the time I was still married, which was me and my wife had an issue with it. I'm like, yo, this is important. This doesn't just happen. There's something with this, you know? And so then, yeah, man, hung out, and John and I hung out on the tour bus, listening to my music, listening to Chase's music, like hanging out, like just being boys, you know? Like, and then as time come by, like I go to Nashville, they're there. We just kind of happen to be showing up at the same time. They're on world tour and I'm doing my thing, and we just happened. You're there. Oh yeah, I'm going to a game. You're at the game. Let's go. Let's hang out. You know. And then they finally saw me play, and they're like, "Yo, man, this guy is really good." So this is the first time it's all coming together. House of Blues. Long story short.
Well, because I remember when that happened, and you and I talked about it at the time, because Chris and I have a tendency to start talking about the universe and all that kind of
things that matter, man.
That's
deep
right.
stuff.
That's right. So if I recall, you had a choice there after that stuff went down, right? Because one of the things, one of the ways that I kind of see the universe when it comes to this kind of stuff, all right, we've got to get a little crazy.
Well, no, it's all good.
Is like when these monumental moments happen in your life, always look or try to be aware of what had happened immediately or within a few days or a few weeks of this happening, because I feel like that. All right. Long story longer. That moment that happened to Chris is kind of like it's a signal that there's this change. You know, there's a lot of turmoil that's happened very quickly coming at him out of nowhere. He's like, what the hell's going on? And then throughout or in that, you have some choices to make. And depending on the choices you make during that turmoil is how the next part of your life is going to play out. So Chris had some choices in that moment. He could have said, F you, screw this place, peed on something on his way out. Mm-hmm. Or he goes, man, there's that guy needs some love. He needs some prayers. And turns to his bandmates and goes, don't worry, something's, we're going to figure something out here. And the next thing you know, that serendipitous moment afterwards, you're running into the tour manager of a country star, and then the thing it follows from there and there and there.
And now we bring us to today. In a couple hours, I will be playing at the House of Blues in a sold out place, right back where I was years ago.
And had that moment not played out like that, had you had a smooth gig and just you would have never met that guy, this moment you playing at a sold out show right now tonight would not have happened.
It's not about what it happens to you, it's about how you react to it. And that's a prime example right there. I can't tell anyone more than that. I mean, there's nothing better than that. That's, when something crazy happens, it's not about you. It's just, wait a minute, like, you control you. I can't control all this. So I can control how I'm going to handle it. Is my ego. Where's my ego right now?
Right.
Is my ego like, you want to talk to me like that? Like, I could easily go that route. Like, do you know who I am? I'm playing about that.
Is that something? Is that something that age and experience provided you in that moment? Like, was a younger Chris, would a younger Chris McCarty taking the guy's head off? Is the question.
A younger Chris McCarty would have been more aggressive if the Chris McCarty band was there.
What
if Phil and Julius and Greg are around? I would have been like, what? Because I know those dudes. Nothing would have happened.
Oh, I see. Because in that moment, then you're defending your boys at the same time. It's not just about you.
It's like, yo, these dudes are. But obviously, it wouldn't happen because the band would have been there. We all would have been playing. But no, I think, I think. Of course, ego's different at this age.
All right,
What would you? What do you think you would have? How do you even handle it? If some dude's screaming at you in front of people, trying to belittle you, make you
right. I've handled it both ways.
Right.
There's been times where you catch me at the right time, and I got enough sweet brown liquor in me.
Yeah,
and enough enough
Raymonier all day. Yeah. I hear you.
Enough Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola, and then you give it back to them.
Yeah.
But there's been times that I had the same thing, and I don't need to. Share a similar story.
Share.
But, well, no. I've talked about it on the show before. It was about I was doing trivia out at Boulevard Burgers, and one of the ways that I used to set up my trivia is when I'm when I'm doing my thing, is doing the spiel, is I would say, when I get to the part about how you answer, I'm like, don't worry about spelling and this and that. I'd make a joke like, if I can figure out what you're trying to say, then I'll give you credit for it. You can use a hieroglyphic, and I don't care if I can figure it out. I'm going to give you credit for it.
Right.
And then I'd make some joke about, I'm not going to hold you to any higher standard than I hold myself. I'm a product of the Florida public school system. So, I'm very lenient on this kind of stuff. I'd say that every week.
Right.
Well, little did I know, there was a guy that would be out there every week by himself. And he's actually out there multiple times. He's a local there at the bar. And so he'd hear me say this every week. And I guess it was grinding on him. And I didn't even know he's a teacher here in the state of Florida. So he was getting very offended every time I said something like that. And then so fine, I'm just setting up and I go through my thing, and this guy, so I'm in a place of calm.
Right.
I love my trivia nights. I love my Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding, man. I love doing this.
Yeah.
And so this guy all of a sudden just comes flying up out of nowhere, and he is up here. Boom.
Get mad at
F you. And this and this and this, and I'm trying to put it together as it's happening, and then so I finally do, but instead of giving it right back, because he had no right, come on, man, I'm joking around, this and that, and not only that, but I apologize. Say, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm sorry if I offended you, this and that. So you go and offer up a sincere apology, but they still going. It's because they got some shit. They've got some shit,
of course.
That I don't know anything about.
Everybody's got shit, brother.
Right. And then
everybody.
And remember this song that I wrote called "Everybody's Got Shit"?
Everybody's. I don't remember that.
Do you remember it? Or?
Vaguely.
All right, hold on. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it here in a moment.
But we got to tell everybody that I'm going to be sorry, I have to tell this. On Friday, we're going to be at Ybor at the Ritz.
Okay.
Because we're talking about Orlando, and that's cool. But the Ritz is not sold out yet. But, so you got to hurry and get your tickets fast.
All right. So, long story longer.
There you go. The plug. Another plug. Me. Let's talk about me.
I apologize to the guy. He kept going. And in that moment, I guess I had some choices, too, to go ahead and say, all right, F you, buddy. I gave you a shot. Now go F yourself, But I didn't. I just sat there and apologized over and over, let him get out everything, all the FUs that he needed to get out, and he got out of there. Took a deep breath and got back at it. And so the next week he would be there. The next week he would be there. But this time he would leave before I would start talking. So he was gone by 7 o'clock now after that incident. And then months passed, and one day he's walking out of there. Because I'd also find those moments, if I could. Is that you or me?
You.
But also find those moments where... I just say hi or give him a nod or something like that. And then finally one day I'm setting up and and as he's walking out, per usual, not per usual, he pats me on the back and says, have a great night or something like that, and keeps walking. And a little tear came from my eye.
So you think that was his way of saying, I'm sorry?
Oh, yeah. Yep. And it took months. I don't even know the guy's name. But I'd like to think that was a moment of, hey, yeah. Sorry for being a dick that day. You were really cool about it.
Isn't it interesting how someone can go that far on the spectrum of anger and it's so difficult for them to look and say I'm sorry or I apologize.
Oh yeah,
it shows this man. That's crazy.
Yeah, and
have you seen him again?
I haven't had a conversation with him or anything.
Why not?
Scared he's bigger than me. No, I'm just kidding. Also, I don't have time. When I'm there with just enough time to get in, set up my stuff, order a little something, eat myself.
I just wonder if you'd ever go to him and just kind of be like, hey, man, what happened that day with a smile and a laugh? I wonder what he would say. Because he'd be caught off guard, and you might actually get the authentic, really what.
Maybe. Maybe. Well, here's. I'll tell you what happened that day.
What happened?
Here's what happened that day. This is what happens to all of us in those moments when we're that guy. It's a lot of shit's building up. From my vantage point, my perspective, I'm just a guy in the corner getting ready to set up trivia. But who knows what has registered in his head over the weeks every time I'm out there, and maybe I come off to him like a cocky SOB, no talent, this. I don't know, whatever it is. So this has been building, and you have no idea. You know, think about it. Chris McCarty, you have had a great career. You know that you bring the positive energy to a show. But you also know damn well if you want to, you look around, there's going to be one guy over there or one chick over there who's just giving you the stink eye, giving you the evil eye. All right, maybe not every show. Maybe not every show.
Nah. It's, it's funny, man. I think I know what you mean, but I got to the point where I just almost stopped looking at people. I'm just playing.
It's a
for
faceless
me.
mask.
Just playing for me. It's different. Like when you're young and you're in your ego and you're low. Hey girl, hey, and look at me. But then, you go through so much stuff in life and death, and then you start thinking about what really matters to you. Divorce, and you don't have your kids, and you're just like, man, like all this, and man, this thing right here is a big reason why a lot of that stuff is.
Yeah.
So then you're like, you fall into it, and so now, I don't really even look to seek others' approval, which is great. I think that's probably why I'm like getting, opportunities like I am now, because I'm just not. It's just I just love the music so much. So yeah,
the music.
So I don't care who's giving me the stank eye. That's your problem. I have nothing to do with me.
Why are my comments just not popping up automatically? That's bothering me. I want to see all the comments so I can comment back. There's 5 comments here, and
ain't no holler back, girl.
Wait, hold on. There's this thing over here. Let me click on this. It's a restream thing, a chat. But I think it only gives me the stuff from Periscope and YouTube, and those are always bots. The messages that we get from Periscope are hello, big American.
Really?
Yeah, shit like that. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's basically ciao, hello.
Do you want me to get my guitar?
Where is it?
I probably would mind using a warm-up of some sort.
Where is it?
It's in the car.
Why don't you? I'll tell you what. You go get your.
About this on the song.
Yeah, because we can do both of these things. We could one. I want let's do that live.
Let's
awesome. Do a live version of the song that you helped me write on.
I didn't help you write anything. I just played some music.
You helped arrange it.
That is cool.
And then
the words, and they're beautiful.
And the composition of the music, of course.
True.
And then the physical playing of the music, of course.
Yeah. That was fun. That was fun.
All right,
did
so
she like it?
She did. She got a tear. She teared up.
That's what I'm talking about.
I got a huge hug. One of those. She's like, I feel like my gift now is, pales in comparison. I'm like, no, honey, yours was
It did. It
did not. It was perfect. It was perfect.
What'd she give you?
Well, it's the paper anniversary, so she went off of that, and you'll see. If the video that I sent you of me doing it, I showed you, right? Well, on the front of that video, or on the front of my computer, you'll see this blue kind of sign, and it's a Harry Potter thing, and so she got that done on Etsy, and and mailed to the house. So it's something that'll be a part of a wall that we are really putting together. So it is. It was perfect. So
it's very thoughtful, actually. Very thoughtful.
But then you said everybody's got shit. Do you want me? Go get your guitar, okay?
Okay.
Go get your guitar. I'm going to run through some stuff you should know. Because here's how I literally have a song called "Everybody's Got Shit."
Wait,
Chris,
let me see if I remember. Let me see this real quick.
Hold on, I literally have a song. Everybody's got shit. The day he died, I came alive, found meaning in the world's rhymes. I could start over with plenty of time. I know. The day my world all went black, and I knew there was no turning back, was the day I began to search for what I'd lacked.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, it's an EDM song. No, all right. No, that's an old one for those of you that have been following me around for a long time. An old friends of mine. That's one I've been working on for quite some time. But it's funny that he brought that up. So, and I think he knows it too. But since he's going to get his guitar, maybe we'll get a little twofer today. Who knows? So what we'll do is the song that I did for my wife because I'm too stupid to. Well, I'm not stupid. Yeah, no, I'm all right. There's two different issues here. One, I am stupid, but I am bright enough to figure out Dropbox. I just am pissed that Dropbox wants more money from me, so I'm not getting my full upgrade. And dropping, well, let me because I turned on all my iCloud stuff and share stream and this, and no, it's still. What are you sharing on Photo Stream? Those are all so old. Sorry for complaining. All right, let's just go ahead and get through some of the stuff you should know. So when Chris gets back up here, we will go through, or we'll do live that the song that I did for my wife. Coming up here, and I'll put the words up on the screen, I guess, so you can follow along, because I'm not a good singer. All right, we talked already about the Starman's final photos. Tampa Bay among the top cities now. Top 10 in the nation for most severe flu cases. Florida's draw could be a factor. Cassandra Melga, this is coming from ABCActionNews.com. Cassandra Melger is holding her 1-year-old daughter a little tighter. The mom is dealing with a tough week after taking Nayeli's big brother to the emergency room. My son is only 3 and he goes to daycare, and I was thinking, oh my God, Noel was coming down with the flu. Quote, I was scared because of all the stuff going on with the flu and kids dying, said Melgar. The CDC reports show that 53 deaths have occurred this season, 5 right here in the state of Florida. And now a new report from the Doctor's Report Illness Tracker ranks the Bay Area as the 6th biggest flu hotspot in the country. So be careful, man. You know, it is killing people. You know, and you look up, you're scrolling through Facebook and you're seeing friends. You're seeing friends and their kids. Videos. What? Oh, how you doing, Andrew? Nice seeing you again. Or nice seeing you. There we go. Oh, that's all I had to do. I'm such an idiot. Idiot, I know. Oh, there we go. No, all I had to do was, so I'm sitting there going, why can't aren't you showing any comments here? And it really was just because I had all I do is just stretch out the browser a little bit there. All right, so good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Lauren, my beautiful wife.
What up, Al?
Martin, how you doing? And is that the Grenade song? Yes. Okay, yeah. Well, wait, yes, that is the Grenade song. And she goes, I think you worked on that with Aswan North. No, Aswan North offered up, and this is a guy who is the lead singer of a band called Paper Tongues. We did a lot of stuff with when I was at 97X back in the mid-2000s. Mid-late 2000s. First decade. And, but I chickened out. I didn't call him, and because he goes, dude, that's a great song. Let me help you produce it. I'll do it for free. This, and this. And this is, a national recording artist, and and has done stuff with Celine Dion and Babyface and this and that. So I dropped the ball on something. I definitely dropped the ball on something. All right, before we get to some music, let's hit this next story. All right. Don't wax my kid is what I have here on the as far as the title goes. What would you do? How old's your little one? She 2, 3?
She's 3. He's 5.
All right, he's 5. What would you do if your little girl came home and you see that somebody had waxed her eyebrows at school?
I'd probably go find that person who waxed her eyebrows.
So this is coming out of Washington, a Washington daycare. What? So let me show you the little girl here. It's going to be up on the screen behind you. And so this little girl, I guess she has somewhat, has some hair there.
Like that? Yo, I would snap on whoever did that.
Right.
Snap on them.
Because this is somebody torturing your child for beauty's sake. And what age is that? Is that like 2?
Yeah, what the dude?
That is so anyway, the daycare was denying they did anything. They said it didn't happen. They were even laughing at her and mocking her. But then another parent, so she posts this on Facebook, and then another parent comes forward and says the same thing happened to my daughter too. So you have some crazy lady. I'm not saying that this is a practice there, but I'm telling you, you have a crazy lady there. Who this kind of stuff annoys, like she's OCD or something, and this kind of stuff is bothering the crap out of her, going, oh, let me do that. It'll make her look so much prettier. And while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and pierce her ears and see what else other pain you can put her through. Sorry. Now I'm drifting into a different topic there. All right, don't wax my kid. Yeah, I have a feel. Yeah, something like that. If my kid came home like that, I would be at the school. I would be driving and calling at the same time. I'd be driving and calling at the same time.
I'd be calling my lawyer. Hey,
Yeah.
it's about to go down, man.
I wouldn't even be thinking about my lawyer.
I'm about to go nuts, yo.
I'd be calling my lawyer, going, "Hey, listen, can you start making some phone calls to post some bail for me because somebody's about to die."
I don't want people even touching my kids.
No,
I have a thing like, hey, I'm always staring.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't have any kids, but yeah, that is a no bueno. All right, Chris. Let's see. You know what I can do too? If you want to pull that table close, because I can turn that microphone on here if you want for the. All right, so here in a couple minutes, or a minute, I'm going to. Are you going to sing along with me? Are we going to make this a duet?
No. I think you should do.
All right, so I'll pull up.
I don't know where the lyrics. I don't remember the lyrics.
Oh yeah. Would it help? Well, the lyrics will be behind you.
I might actually remember them just because we wrote that together or did the thing together.
The lyrics will. No. Okay, this is it here. I think. Oh, it's close. I'm getting closer. You just go boom, boom. There you are. I was very nervous. And I thought she was going to hate it, so I'm glad. Or I wasn't sure. I wasn't certain. I was a little worried. Okay, so we'll do that in here in a second. But first, I want to share with Chris this other song because I think it's serendipity. And I can't lie. I'm a little proud of it. Even though I won't let anybody do anything with it and actually turn it into a song, I think this is the latest version. But here you go. I'll just run it by you, okay? All right, Chris. I'll run it by you guys. Here we go. The day he died, I came alive, found meaning in the world's rhymes. I could start over with plenty of time. I know. The day my world all went black and I knew there was no turning back was the day I began to search for what I'd lacked. Let's go. That's when the world starts to slip from view. Seems the liars and the fools control the truth. Then she smiled and says, I promise you, hoo. There's no reason not to be happy, no reason not to smile and say hello. Everybody's got shit to let go. The more you tried to hide it, the more it shows. It was getting too hard, way too trying, but they'd all miss the point if I ended up dying. This was back when I was really dark. Everything had death in it. It was getting too hard, way too trying, but they'd all miss the point if I ended up dying. I could only be right by surviving and thriving. The past was my grenade. The only pin was my skin. Pulled it off while I was trapped between them and their sin. They tried to put me back together again. No, please no. And that's when she says, is that the grenade song? Because, you see the grenade there? All right, the old grenade on the shoulder? I filled in that line. Okay, I'll come back to that. So there we go. We'll come back to that. So when the world starts to, and then repeat. And when the world starts to slip from view, seems the liars and the fools control the truth. She smiled and said, I promise you, hoo. There's no reason not to be happy, no reason not to smile and say hello. Everybody's got shit to let go. The more you try to hide it, the more it shows. So that was that one. I think I've shared that one with you before.
I believe you have.
Yeah. All right, now to this thing here.
Tell me about being dark and coming out of it, man.
Tell you about
that.
Tell you about being dark and coming out of it. All right, it's just
it's significant, man, to get him out of that.
All right, but we're not going to go too far down that rabbit hole.
I'm not saying going down the rabbit hole. I'm just saying that for anyone out there that's listening that may be in a dark spot, it's okay because dark times don't come to stay; they come to pass.
Okay,
and that's all.
Yeah, as for the most part, I think I had a very awesome life, and nothing, no early childhood trauma that I know of, and anything like that. And I don't know, I was cruising right along, and then all of a sudden things started to get topsy-turvy, and then you lose your career, your job, your father, and something else. There was a third. Oh, and your house, all in a matter of like 8 months.
Yeah, man.
And it just had been a time in my life where I think I'd been holding on best I could for quite some time. Yeah. So that the universe came through and went whack, whack, whack. And so I kind of broke and curled up into a ball. And yeah, and then just I guess the dark, when you start talking, it's just things don't seem positive, and that you can't. It's hard to find happiness and joy in the world and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so
been there, man.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna start.
That's why blues music exists, man.
So we're gonna start singing the blues for you here today. Her whisper sounded like a song when she said she'd known all along we'd forever and always belonged, and then she kissed me. All right, you ready? All right, we got that thing on there. Do you need? Are you need to hear it first? Or you got it?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Do I?
Just wait 1 second.
Her whisper sounded like a song when she said she'd known all along we forever and always belonged, and then she kissed me. Through the darkness her light was bright, and when I regained my sight, she was right in front of me. Her whisper sounded like a song when she said she'd known all along we forever and always belonged, and then she kissed me. Scars were still tender. It was late November. I wonder if she remembers. She remembers. Woke up with the rising sun. So much work still to be done, and her love to be won, to be won. Whisper sounded like a song when she said she'd known all along we forever and always belonged, and then she kissed me. Her whisper sounded like a song when she said she'd known all along we forever and always belonged, and then she kissed me.
That was awesome.
Thank you so much for that, man.
I love you, dude.
For helping me out. There you go. Let's put the lyrics up there.
That's awesome. That was a lot of fun for me, man, because just and here's something really cool that I'll tell you. If you want to try to find friends, everyone that you can really allow yourself to be yourself with,
right?
And shamelessly yourself, and unapologetically yourself. And I'll share with you guys a moment that Chris and I shared in the middle of this.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I mean, it was awesome. It was like, I'm reading these lyrics, and I know my friend, and I know he loves her, and I know that, and I'm reading these lyrics, and I'm thinking about, love. And I promise you, I got a little emotional. And I looked at Chris, and we were like, when we kind of put the song together, we were singing the lyrics, looking at each other, and both of our eyes started watering, and it was just a beautiful moment of like, man, like,
I don't know what he's talking about.
Feeling how much this dude loves this woman, and it's just a beautiful thing. So that's why I love Chris, and you got to make sure you surround yourself with people who, love you the same way they really love you, man.
All right, well, thank you.
I love you, dude. You're my besties.
All right, love you too, man. Chris McCarty in the studio today as we go over some of the things in the news here. You a big fan of Richard Pryor?
Yes.
You're Richard Pryor. That's where I Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy growing up were two huge staples for me. And according to Page Six, now this is page6.com, which is a gossip rag, right? But Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando hooked up back in the day. Did you ever hear anything about that?
It's easy to say, man, when they're dead.
True. Richard Pryor's widow has confirmed that he and Marlon Brando hooked up in the 70s. Buzz began when Quincy Jones gave an interview to Vulture saying Brando was the most charming mother effer you ever met. He'd F anything. He'd F a mailbox. Talking about Marlon Brando. And he goes, he'd F a mailbox. James Baldwin, Richard Pryor, Marvin Gaye. Jennifer Lee, who was married to Pryor in the early 80s and again in the 2000s up until his death, told TMZ on Wednesday that it was true. That this was true.
I can't buy it.
But she says it was the 70s. It was the drugs. It wasn't that, I guess, Richard Pryor was secretly on the DL, but that, she said drugs were still good, especially Quaaludes. If you did enough cocaine, you'd blank a radiator and send it flowers in the morning.
You know, it's crazy because that's the one thing we do know is that he did have a coke addiction. So who knows, man? I've never been delved into that, so I don't know what that does.
She told the gossip site that Pryor, who passed away in 2005, was open about. Oh, guess he was open about his bisexuality. I guess I never even knew that. You know, that's interesting because he's such an honest comic, and he does such a fantastic job of telling his stories, the difficult stories to tell, and making people and bringing them in and helping people relate, and then making them laugh. It is. I'm surprised then that he didn't bring that. Oh, maybe I missed it. Or maybe he did bring that kind of stuff up on a stage somewhere along the way, and I missed it. Where'd you learn to cuss? Who'd you learn to cuss from?
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy? Yeah, same here. I got the basics. I got shit from my dad. You know, if he hurt himself doing, if he's trying to fix something, and it broke, or he hit his head real, he was going to say shit, and my mom was going to say something to him.
See, no, it's interesting because I have such respect for my parents that we were not allowed to curse at all, so I never heard my parents curse, growing up, but I curse, so it's kind of funny to be like, how am I gonna handle my kids? Am I gonna do the echoes of my parents' voices?
Are you
like,
gonna be
no, don't like when I did. Like, I don't.
Are you gonna be a hypocrite?
Really, am I a hypocrite? Do I really care? Like what? So I don't know. It's funny little things that your past. It just.
Well, Richard Pryor, man, Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy. That's when I really did. It developed an appreciation for the F-bomb.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And my family, like my brothers and their wives. All my brothers, they each have 2 kids, and they speak freely around them. We all do, and that means we'll say anything around the kids. I like that personally. We'll see how it plays out. The first one is just hitting. First of the 6 is just now hitting his teens.
Okay.
But what I think that the little ones have developed a sense of when it's appropriate, not when not. They know around. Well, listen. I've never even heard the kids cuss around us.
Well, there you go.
Like I shouldn't say never. It's
right. I hear you saying.
And then, but when it happens, it's hilarious. It's one of those things. But
I think I'd probably laugh if I heard my kid curse. I'd probably laugh.
I think I'm going to be someone who. Well, I'll probably be. I'll watch my mouth a little bit more. I'll be aware of it, so I won't do it as much.
Yeah, I don't do it in front of my kids.
No cussing in front of the kids.
No.
You think that'll change too once I have kids? I'll be like, I'm not going to cuss in front of them.
I don't know. I think a lot of it is just, man, that is just an element of who my parents were. So it's just kind of, they didn't, and I don't. I mean, there's still I don't know. There's still an innocence attached to them. And I remember when I was younger and I heard it, I was like, ooh, and you hear the ooh, he said a bad word, like that kind of, I don't know.
So do you?
But whatever, like you said, we'll see with your kids.
Yeah, well, we'll see, because one thing that I don't, that I'm not sure of, is then what do I yell at? If I'm not going to cuss at them, what am I yelling when I'm beating them?
Right.
Let's make sure we pull that one and send that out for. That'll be a nice little part of the sizzle reel. So at all your days of being a musician and traveling around the world, you ever ended up in a Marlon Brando, Richard Pryor type of orgy situation?
No.
I was just wondering, just curious. Just wondering if there would be stories.
No, that has not happened to me, my friend. I could say that there was not the same sex in the room.
Okay. Oh, I see. All right, so you're alluding to. Wait, listen. Remember, your kids can watch this. So this is all. This goes out into the universe and stays around forever.
You said walked into a situation. I'm saying, did not say that I partook. I'm just saying, in my times as a musician, yes, I've walked into rooms and they're like, oh. Is
this flu thing bothering you? The flu that's going around, is that concerning you?
No. I already got it a while back. I don't,
I'm talking about your kids.
They're always sick, so no. Bother me? What do you mean?
I was at the doctor's office yesterday getting my T injection into my rump, and I was just chatting it up with the nurse there and asked, if how it's been, this flu season. She said, oh yeah, it's been nuts around there. I'm like, did you get the flu shot? She's like, I'm around sick people so much that I'm inoculated to everything.
I'm telling you,
because I've got it all.
Yeah, dude. It's true.
Tampa Bay, the 6th most severe flu cases as far as cities in the country. Tampa Bay.
Are you sick people?
Yeah. So, it hurt. Because here's the thing, man. I do not want to, log into Facebook and you're scrolling through and you see, somebody who's, a tragedy has struck because of the damn flu, because in your head you're thinking it's the flu and this is modern times,
right?
We should be good, but the flu is a bastard. It is a bear. All right, next up, let's see here. The president's tracking polls, his numbers are up.
Can I keep playing while you're doing this?
You do that. Rasmussen reports a daily presidential tracking poll. There you go. Shows that 48% of likely U.S. voters approve of President Trump's job performance. 50% disapprove. Now, wait, hold on. Now it sounds like we're stealing I think this is a Jimmy Fallon bit.
When you gotta watch that show.
Let's see, what else? Oh, Chinese rapper. You into Chinese hip-hop?
I'm like, what? Yes. I'm starting a label.
Are you? I'm not even kidding, man. Chinese rap and hip-hop seemed poised to break out after a wildly popular singing show brought mainstream legitimacy to a music style that had struggled to find its voice in China. But an abrupt official backlash, communism, against hip-hop culture has tamed the swagger of the artists who fear that Chinese rap's development, like a once promising homegrown rock and roll movement, will be nipped in the bud by communist politics. Isn't that something, man? That we take, one of the things, many things that we take for granted here in America. Quote, I don't need to be such a superstar. It's very dangerous, Shanghai rapper Mr. Trouble said. Sorry. Mr. Trouble said of the sudden shift in climate. He is now back in the studio watering down a new album to avoid blowback. Quote, you got to be a smart person. Even though it's soft and weak, it's a hip-hop album. I put my attitude in it. If you are smart too, you can dig it out, said Mr. Trouble, the 28-year-old Hung
Yin.
The past year, could you imagine if that happened in the 80s? I mean, they tried. They tried to go after a rap in the 80s, went after a Luke Skywalker, 2 Live Crew, and that whole thing.
They tried all the time, man. They tried with Tupac, they tried with
that was
NWA, they tried. It's freedom of speech. You're not going to set people up, man.
It also
not going to.
Was that Al Gore's wife? Did she go after? Am I confusing some? I don't remember. I'll stop.
Bob Dole.
I don't remember now.
Bob Dole. You did.
So, one of the craziest headlines of the day, right? So every week, you can find headline after headline after headline of people, of teachers having relations with students, right?
What is going on?
But hold on. Check this out. One of those teachers is appealing the conviction, saying that teachers should be allowed to have relationships with students. A former Pickens Academy teacher who was involved in relationship with 2 students is appealing her conviction, saying the law that prohibits sex with students is unconstitutional.
Well, she almost has to play that card, but whoa.
Well, that's ballsy.
I commend you.
It's ballsy.
Yeah, I commend you.
It's not, hey, Your Honor, I'm sorry. Sorry for banging children. I realize that's not what we're allowed to do. And I feel remorseful. Please be lenient. It is, hey, I think having sex with children is the law against it is unconstitutional. So let's delve into this for a second. This little story.
Whoa, man.
Coming from the...
She's off.
All right. TuscaloosaNews.com.
Oh, Alabama.
Charlie Jones Parker, 31, pleaded guilty in August to having sexual contact with students younger than 19. She is serving a 3-year sentence in prison, is expected to be released in September of 2020. A Morgan County Circuit Court judge ruled the law prohibited sex between a school employee and a student unconstitutional that same month. The state appealed the judge ruling, but the Alabama Court of Criminal Appeals has not yet issued a decision in the case. Parker's attorney contends the statute violates the Equal Protection Clause because it treats school employees differently than other occupations and criminalizes what her attorney called private consensual sexual relationships. As written, the law prohibits sexual relationships between any school employee and any student, regardless of the school system they attend, who is under 19 years old. But it is Alabama, so
Alabama.
All right, that's not very nice. Alabama law does not make it a crime for members of other occupations to have consensual sex with 16, 17, and 18-year-olds, even when there's a position of trust or authority. This is coming from said Parker's appellate attorney. In the brief filed on Tuesday, Buck noted a hypothetical scenario, saying a 21-year-old janitor working for a Tuscaloosa school system might go to Gulf Shores for spring break and have relations with an 18-year-old senior from Daphne High School. Under the law, he would be guilty of a Class B felony. Quote, but a 65-year-old doctor, minister, therapist, or attorney is not subject to criminal liability in Alabama for having consensual sex with a 16-year-old over whom he has authority or with whom he holds a position of trust. She noted the statute didn't apply to private school employees in 2016. Here's the thing on this. You can have the policy and say, hey, listen, if you're an employee here, if you're a teacher here, you can't bang any of the students. I don't care if they're 25. Period. And if not, you're fired. So that's fine. That's totally fine. Now, the law, I think they have a point here. The law is a little bit different. So in Alabama, this person's in prison because she had consensual sex with 2 boys, I guess, that were under 19. But it doesn't say like under 16 or something like that. So I'm assuming they were still legal in another sense. And then this person goes, hey, listen, but if this person was a doctor or a lawyer and the person they had sex with was 16, it's still legal here in the state of Florida or a state of Alabama. So, what's going on here? So, yeah. Or maybe they need to make sure that if you're a 65-year-old doctor, minister, or therapist, and you bang a 16-year-old, maybe we should focus on that part in Alabama, make that part illegal. Bring that up to 18 years old with the rest of the country. Enough of that. Enough of that nonsense.
That's sick, dude.
Yes, sir. You mean sick as in sick or sick as in sick?
Sick as in. Like, we're crazy, man. People are crazy.
Yes, sir. You are right.
But you know what's crazy? We do it to ourselves, though, Chris. What
do you mean?
Well, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day about, like the times, like back in the 60s and the 50s and how, people had to dance like this. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Had to dance this far away and then, and they were just trying to keep sex out of the whole deal. And they knew that there was something with it. And now it's like pushed so much in our face that everything's just heightened. Like teenage pregnancy is heightened. I mean, just sex is such a big deal, and like everything is. So now you've got these people wanting to have sex with young kids. It's just weird, man. Like, we just can't help it. We kind of do it to ourselves.
I see what you're. Wait, hold on. Let me. Are you saying that going back to that time period you're talking about, and us trying to have this puritanical
I don't know
view of sex has then perversed or perverted everything?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Because they know that that's money.
What?
Well, people use sex from making a lot of money from sex, like whether it's porn, whether it's strippers, whether it's magazines, whether it's selling articles. It's sex sells. We all know this.
Yes.
Music has changed. The music's been perversed. Like the old heroes of Stevie Ray Vaughan's and like they were about but they were about that music and like but now it's like just talk about sex and then people will make you. It's just and so that's what I'm saying. I feel like we've done it to ourselves.
we know that sex, like you said, we know that sex sells. We know that you put.
Do you deny that we did? That we kind of did it to ourselves? Brought ourselves. We are all one human race. We brought ourselves to this place where think about it now. It's like there are sex sites. I don't mean porn sites. I mean like Tumblr or those whatever the hell the people Match.com.
I don't.
Match.com.
Tumblr. Bumblebee, is that one of them?
Something like that.
Should I go to Bumblebee right now?
But you know what I'm saying? Like that's just a site to have sex. Hey man, you look good and want to have sex. That's all that is. That's all that is. So it's just I don't know.
Oh wait, bumblebee.org. Well, no, it's the natural history and ecology of Bumblebee. All right, I got the wrong. Something like that. I don't. Is Tinder a dating site or a sex site?
That's the one I'm talking about.
Is Tinder a dating site or a sex? That's the one where you swipe and you're just looking for somebody. Who's like, oh, I'll bang that one. I'll bang that one.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man.
Let me put him on my queue. Next.
Not knocking anybody who is. I'm just saying I'm not on that.
Okay. All right, man. What are you doing for lunch today?
I don't know. Chick-fil-A was out. Someone had Chick-fil-A downstairs.
Oh, ooh.
I gotta get going.
Oh, that's right. You're in Orlando, man. Congratulations once again. Or I say good luck, man. Not congratulations. Good luck on your gig tonight.
I wish you can go. Excuse me.
Well, sir, I'd love to, but I have my own gig tonight. I'll be slinging while you're out playing before a packed house at the House of Blues. I will be slinging trivia at Mastery's Blind Pass, St. Pete Beach, starting at 7 o'clock. Or else I'd love to join you. All right. Once again, thank you so much for being a part of the Wake.Show. I really appreciate that. And we'll on tomorrow's show, Chris, you're coming back, right? We'll play some music. Play some more music tomorrow.
I'm singing some tomorrow too.
What's that?
We'll show some videos of the night.
Are you driving right home tonight?
I'm gonna hang out with them, whatever they want to do.
Okay. Well, if you make it back to Tampa tonight.
Yes.
Then I will. We'll see you on the show tomorrow, and
you will see me on the show tomorrow, regardless.
Okay.
This is something that I love doing with you, so I'm here.
All right. Have a great day, and we'll do it again tomorrow morning at about 11 a.m.
Hey, talk to God.
What?